Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we're back down the garage today, so that means one thing: we're working on the van. Today is going to be episode 3 of our van build, and today we're working on the Skylight. So hang around and see how we get on. Okay then, so the Skylight I've gone for, as you can see here from the box, is a Mini Heki S, which is a 400 by 400 roof light. I've gone for the clear one because I thought it would let the most light through, and as it's going to be on the roof, no one's going to be looking through it anyway. So really happy with that. Cost me £109 off eBay, and we're going to fit that in today, and that's going to be going above the fixed bed, so at the back of the van, just up here in this panel here. So we're going to get on and fit that now. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do today is use the cardboard box that the Skylight actually came in, and I'm going to use that to create a template of the 40 by 40 hole that we need to cut out. So first of all, I'm just going to cut this box down to a bit more of a better size to use. So I've already started cutting, as you can see. Just cut this last bit off. That's it. Cool. So that's ready to go. So we've got a nice square of cardboard that we can make our template with now. Right, so what I've done, I've measured out a 40 by 40 square on the cardboard, and I've drawn that on with a Sharpie. So that is going to be the rough size of the hole that we're going to need to cut. So what we're going to do is going to cut out this centre section, and then we're going to basically test fit this over the Skylight to make sure that it's definitely the right size and it's all snug. And then that will be our guide ready and made to go on the top of the van. I'm just trimming down the edges of this template that I've drawn to fit our lines. So that's our template made up. As I said, it's 40 by 40, but what we're going to do is just going to pop it over the Skylight just to make sure that it fits the hole nicely. So as you can see, that fits on there perfect. And there is a little bit of a wiggle room as well, because the Skylight does recommend to have 1 or 2 mil of movement for expansion, so that's pretty good. So that's ready to go on the roof. Right, so what we've done now is, as this is the panel that the Skylight's going to be going in, what we've done is we've had to find the centre point of this panel. So we've measured from that side to that side, and also from this cross member here to the back of the van, and that is the centre point there. So what we've done also, we've put the template up, we've secured it in place with a bit of masking tape, and as you can see, we've drawn a cross going from the centre, and then on the template we've also marked the cross so that all the 4 points meet up, and hopefully, in theory, that should be now square. So what we need to do now is follow that template for the hole, and we can drill our pilot holes and then get that cut out with the jigsaw. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we've got the template up, it's secured in place, so we're going to draw our 4 pilot holes. As you can see, I've marked in each corner a little dot. I'm going to put a pilot hole on there, and then we can go up on the roof and use them as our guide once we're on the roof. Point of no return now, I'm going to put the first hole in the roof, so let's hope we've done this right. There's one. Cool, there we go, 4 holes. Right, what we've done, we did stick the template on the roof of the van, but it didn't seem to give us a very clean line. So what we've actually done is used the top of the Skylight, and we've actually used that as the guide. We've used the 4 holes that we drilled to align the Skylight, and then used the Skylight to actually draw round, and now we've got our template that we can cut round. It actually seemed to work a lot better like that. I mean, I don't know how it's worked for other people in the past, but the template sort of for us didn't really work as well as we'd hoped it would. So we feel that the way that we've done it now has given us a good nice clean line to follow rather than the template. So we're going to go ahead now and get this masked up with some tape around the edge, so that the jigsaw doesn't scratch the paint, and then we're going to cut it out. Right, so that's it, we've got the masking tape on now. So what we're going to do is going to take our pilot holes and we're going to enlarge them with the bigger drill bit so that we can get the jigsaw head in there, and that's ready to make the cut then. Oh, don't fall off the van. It's a long way down on this high top. Right, that's the first one done then, so we get the jigsaw in there now, can't we? Perfect. Right, so here we go then. We're going to start cutting out. As before with the windows, we're going to let Jamie do the jigsaw because he done such a good job at the windows. So here we go then. Well, we've run into a little bit of a disaster. The blade is somehow completely bent in the jigsaw. I don't know what, there's nothing underneath that we've hit, I don't think.
No, there's nothing there.
It's just bare metal there, it's just the one skin of the van, isn't it? So we're not exactly sure what's happened to that. But on to the next blade. Let's hope we don't continue like that, because we haven't got many blades left. Right, so we've just snapped another blade. We've worked it out though why it's doing it. It's the actual corrugation of the van. When it gets to the low point, for some reason it sort of kicks back and it's actually snapping the blades. So we're gonna have to try and figure out a way of doing that. I think maybe we'll have to drill a hole in the centre here and then go from the centre rather than trying to come down the slope. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We're gonna have to.
Slow. I think it'll be all right.
Right, so there we go then. That's the panel cut. Hello!
Hey!
We got a hole in the roof of our van. So let's hope that we've done it right. Right, so that's the hole cut now then. So what we're going to do, Jamie's just taken off the tape up there that we used. We're just going to use a file and just go around this edge to take off any sort of sharp bits and make that a nice smooth edge. And I'll probably give that a little coat of red oxide primer on there as well, just to protect that for the future from rusting. So that's our next step. Right, so we've just done a quick file around the edge to get the rough edges off, so that's pretty good. But we're just going to quickly dry test the Skylight in to see if it fits the hole. So away you go, Jamie, drop her in.
You ready?
Yeah, we're ready. Moment of truth. Hey, there we go, look. One Skylight. I think there's a little bit of play around the edges, but as it said in the instruction manual, that 1 or 2 mil of play is acceptable around the edge. So I am pretty happy with that. I think we've done a good job with that edge. So overall, the job well done I think so far. Really pleased with that. That's going to let a lot of nice light in above the bed, and we can lay in bed at night and look at the stars as well because it's clear. So we'll carry on and get the rest of it done. So the next step we need to do is we're going to build a wooden frame to go on the inside to give the Skylight something to screw into and to support it. So what we've gone for this piece of wood here, which is 1.5 inches, which does suit the measurements provided by the instructions. So that's what we're going to go for. So we're going to make a simple square frame with that, and then the Skylight will screw into that. So we're going to make that frame now. Okay, so with the wooden battening, what we've done is we've made just a basic wooden frame like this. It was 2 cuts at 48 and then 2 cuts at 40, and then basically what that's going to do is going to support create a support frame on the inside of the van for everything to screw into. We're gonna cut out the corrugations of the van as well, so that the wood sits flush up and there's no gaps or.
So at the moment you've got a recess there. We're going to try and cut that recess out of here so it follows that curvature and sits up tight. We've got a special tool to do it with.
We bought what's it called? Oh, I can't remember what it's called.
The name of it.
I can't remember what it's called now. Oh,
never mind, we'll show you it. Get it? We'll show them it. It's best if we show you.
Can't remember where it is now.
He's lost it. I've seen the toolbox, I remember putting it in there.
Ah,
There she is.
a profile gauge.
A profile gauge, that's the word, right. So basically you just hold this up against the thing and it should take the shape of, well, I'm not holding it on this, I'm not using it properly, it's still got the label on it so it's not working properly, but you get the idea. There you go.
We're not amateurs at all.
We're not amateurs, promise. We're giving it a go.
Right, so as we explained, we've used the profile gauge to follow the corrugations of the roof. So we've now marked them out on here. So we're now going to use the jigsaw to try and cut those out, so that wood then sits up in the corrugations of the roof, nice and flush with the van. Right, so after we marked out with the profile gauge, we've ended up with this. We've cut them out with the jigsaw. So as you can see, they're going to take the shape of the corrugations of the van. Sorry. So let's give them a try now and see how that fits. We've only done one side at the minute, but oh, that fits lovely. It's like we're professionals. Perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Just got to do the other side now. Right, so for cutting out the corrugations on the wood, we were using the jigsaw, but the battery's gone flat. So what I'm about to do is resort to the hacksaw. If you have a look down here. And I'm cutting the holes and then I'm using the chisel to chisel it out. And I can tidy it up with the file and a bit of sandpaper. So I'm having to do it this old school way instead. Doesn't look very pretty, but it's getting the job done. Like I said, I can tidy that up in a minute. It's not pretty, but it's doing the job. The next process with this fitting this frame now is we need to glue this to the ceiling. We've done a quick dry fit with this and the Skylight to make sure everything aligns and all fits through the hole, and it does. So what I'm going to use is some no more nails to glue along this edge around all four edges, and then that will then stick to the ceiling, and I'm going to clamp that in place with a G-clamp just to hold it in place while it dries and goes off. So that is the next step. Okay, so that's the adhesive applied now then. So now it's just a case of putting it up in place and clamping it to the ceiling.
You ready?
Yeah, I think so.
Push it up. Make sure we line up first.
Right, so we've got the Skylight in just dry fitted at the moment. Now the underside panel, which is what's actually going to screw up and then screw into the wooden frame and hold everything in and sandwich it all together. You've got these lugs here, 3 on each side. Now they were actually longer, so what we've had to do is measure them. So we've had to basically measure the gap from the wood to the plastic of the Skylight, and then cut these lugs down by that amount, so that when we actually screw that in, this all pulls together and this under bit is flush with the wood and it all sits nicely and sandwiches together. So we've done that. Now it's just a case of applying the sealant to the roof and actually sandwiching it all together, and then she's fitted. Right, so as I said, the next step is to seal it in. So what we have to do is run a bead of sealant all in this channel, all the way around the Skylight. And also, because the roof of the van is corrugated, in the corrugations we have to build up a nice thick layer of silicone in there. Now I know a lot of people use silicone tape, but you've actually had your Skylight refitted on your van recently, haven't you, Jamie?
Yeah.
And you watched the professional actually do the job. So,
yeah.
And he never used
Basically,
it.
what he did, he just got this. This is a non-setting sealant, specifically for doing these Skylights. So basically, he just filled up this channel until it was flush with the highest point. So this bit here, he fills that up so that it's flat across the top, and then he built it up, and then you basically just sandwich it all together. Hopefully that'll be enough to stop it.
Should create a sufficient seal, right?
Hopefully.
Well, yeah, if that's what you're the professional done, and yours doesn't leak a drop, does it? So
No, don't leak a single bit.
Whereas the way it was fitted previously by the company that did the conversion, it leaked a lot.
Yeah, the original people that did it was terrible. Might as well just had a hole in the roof.
So he's had it refitted, and this is the way that the guy showed him to do it. So we're going to follow his advice and give it a go ourselves. So here we go. With the nozzle for the sealant, what we've done to get a nice thick bead, we've actually cut it into a V shape. I don't know if you can see that on there. And apparently that is the best way to get a nice sort of peaked sort of shape for your sealant.
Like a pyramid.
Like a peak, yeah, pyramid, and then that'll hopefully, when you then squash that down, that'll all spread out and make a nice tight seal. So just for you guys there, that's how you do it. So we're going to start out by filling the corrugations with the sealant. I mean, it's not a pretty job, is it? But
as long as it seals and no water gets in, that is the objective.
It doesn't really matter how it looks, does it?
Right, so that's the main big bits filled.
So you've got to do the big bits on the other side.
A bit more on there, to be fair. When I was watching the guy doing my van, I couldn't believe actually how much he actually used in those recesses. I was shocked. He literally used 2 tubes.
But as we said, yours doesn't leak a drop, does it?
Mine don't leak at all.
So
I think with this, you can't go overkill with it, I don't think.
I mean, it looks ridiculous, doesn't it?
It does look ridiculous, but this is exactly how much he used on mine.
As you see, it's starting to fill those ridges up nicely. I mean, if water gets through that, there's a problem in there.
Right, let's do the other side first.
Right, so that's the sealant around the actual hole. As you can see, we've put a nice thick bead around all 4 edges and built up those corrugations. So there is a mountain of sealant in there. So what we've got to do now is just apply another little bead of sealant just around the channel on the Skylight, and then she's ready to press in place and be sandwiched all together when we screw that bottom panel in. So the Skylight's now in. We've sealed it and set it in place. And what you do to secure this one in place is you've got this this bottom piece that basically you screw that up. That goes then into the top piece, pulls the top piece down, and the sandwiches are all together. So we've now put that in, so that's all screwed in. So that is in theory now in. The only thing that's left to do is we've got these little holes here, and they're just to put a few screw holes through into the frame just to fully secure it. So that's all that's left to do now. I'll take you up the top and give you a quick look of how it looks from the outside. There we go, and there it is from the top. As we said, we did put lots of sealant on it, so it's not the prettiest of jobs you'll ever see, but we have been assured that that is the correct way to do it, and functionality over aesthetic is the best way. So whilst it doesn't look pretty, it shouldn't leak. But I think overall it's quite a neat job, really, considering there's so much sealant on it. So as I said, the final step is just to pop in the last few screws in that hole there. There's 9 of them to go in, and that just secures the plastic frame to the wooden frame that we've put in. And then that is job done for now. Until we've got the ceiling in, we can put the fascia on. That is pretty much job done. So really happy with that, and hopefully it won't leak. Right guys, that's going to do it for another episode. As you can see, we've got the Skylight in. I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. As you can see, I'll put the fascia on for you so you can get an idea of what it's going to look like. Obviously it's got the blackout blind and then the fly screen as well. So really pleased with that. Obviously I've got to have my ceiling put in around it, and I think once that's in, that's going to look really nice. All that I hope now is that it doesn't leak, but that's only time will tell. I know that in this video, in the last video, sorry, I said that I was going to tackle some sound editing in this video as well, but as you can see from the light, while we were tidying up, it's got dark, so we've run out of time today for that, unfortunately. So I am going to save that for the next video. But if you like what you've seen today, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to continue to follow the progress of our van build. As I said, in the next episode we're going to be doing sound editing, but that's it for this episode. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.